Okay, Hazelmate here, doing another how-to kind of video for the Sur Ron Light Bee. So I haven't checked the chain tension since I got this bike. It's been running okay though, but that's something that's a periodic maintenance that you want to check. The chain, the sprockets wear out, you know, and then it can get too loose. If it gets too loose, the chain could derail, you know, the chain could break. Bad stuff can happen. So you want to make sure that your chain is properly tensioned. So here I got the Sur Ron Light Bee manual. I don't know what happened to my paper manual, but here it says on page 21 of the Sur Ron Light Bee manual, check the tension of the chain. The chain can move up and down 10 to 15 millimeters, and the belt tension when has been adjusted when the production is out of factory. Therefore, please note this. Something it just says don't mess with the belt. Pretty much is what it's saying. But I heard that if the belt seems kind of noisy, you want to tighten it up a little bit. But I don't really know how to do that, and I haven't really had any problems with the belt, so I'm not gonna mess with that. But yeah. So number 4 says check the chain tension of the chain. The chain can move up and down 10 to 15. So 10 to 15 millimeters is your chain slack, is what you call it on a motorcycle. So you want to make sure that your chain, the slack in the chain is 10 to 15 millimeters. If it's more than 15, you need to tighten it. If it's less than 10, you need to loosen it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Pretty simple. Very simple maintenance, very similar to motorcycles. So what you're going to want to do is get a measuring device of some sort. What I'm going to use is a caliper here, and I'm going to set this caliper for 15 millimeters. What I'll do. So you don't want it to deflect more than 15 millimeters. If it does, we need to tighten the chain. So here we go. And then where you want to measure it is probably between the counter sprocket, which is right here, and the rear sprocket. So probably like right around here is probably good. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just measure it from the same place. So I'm going to measure it from the top of the chain and then move it up. So it's kind of weird. It's like the bike is moving a little bit. That's a little more than 15, just a tad bit more. But you know, I probably, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't even tighten that. But I'm gonna show. So just for the video, I'm gonna show you. Since it needs to be tightened a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it for you guys. So I will kind of talk you through it, and then I will go ahead and do it. So here you go. You got your 2 adjusters right here. It's the same on both sides. And you want to note, yeah, this is actually very similar to the one in the Kawasaki. So you want to note what tick mark you're on. So right now we're on, let's start from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So kind of between 4 and 5 is where it's at right now. It's probably a little closer to 4. Yeah, so what we're going to do is probably we're going to move it back to about 4. So what these tick marks do is it helps you align your chain. So you just want to make sure it's the same on the other side. So let's go take a look at the other side real quick. Okay, so I found something already unsettling. So this the rear wheel on this bike is not properly aligned. So if you remember correctly, what I said, it was between 4 and 5 is where it was. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 5 is right here. So the wheel is sitting cockeyed like this. Let me see how, if it's too far, if it's back, it's like this. It's like it's pointing to the left a little bit. So that might be why the bike doesn't handle so good sometimes. All right, so we're going to want to fix that. I'm not 100% sure what the size is for this guy, but the 6 is is kind of close. If we had like a 6.5, but there's no such thing as a 6.5. Maybe it's a SAE size. I'm not sure. But so what the first thing you got to do is loosen the axle. So you have to use a 6mm to keep this side from spinning. It just fell off, but yeah, it just goes in there and keeps it from spinning. That's all. Don't use this to torque it. That's what I'm gonna say, because you might strip it. It's the 6mm doesn't quite fit in there. I don't really know what the exact size of it is. And then you need a 17mm wrench to loosen it. So maybe we don't even need the thing to loosen it. Let's try. Okay, try to loosen this first. So I got the Allen wrench. I'm gonna hold it on the other side so it doesn't spin, and then have at it with this wrench. Okay, there we go. And you probably don't loosen it all the way, just make it so you can move the wheel around. Okay, so the wheel is loose now. So what we got to do now, so what that does is it frees the wheel so you can move it up and down. So before, if you adjust this before loosening this, it's not going to do anything. You're probably just going to break the bolt or something. So what you're going to want to do is leave this one. I'm going to leave this one like this right now, since we're going to align the other side. So it was 1, 2. So where I'm counting is like the indentation. So whenever my fingernail goes into one of these indentations, I'm counting 1. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of like between 4 and 5. So it's like 4.5 almost. So we're gonna go to the other side. Okay, so this is where the magic is gonna happen here. I can get some better light there for you guys. All right, so this one we're gonna actually adjust. So go ahead. It takes a 10mm to do it, to move the adjuster. So what you got to do is loosen this one here first. So I'm gonna go down like counterclockwise, and that should loosen this a little bit. Back it off maybe like a quarter of the way. So this side, so it was 4.5 on the other side. So this one is 1, 2, 3, maybe like a 3.5. So you're gonna wanna turn this one inward until it gets to 4.5. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. You can do it by hand, I guess. If you're having trouble, just use the wrench. And then go ahead and push the wheel in. There you go, to take up that slack. So now we're at 1, 2, 3. It's almost 4, but not quite. Yeah, it's like 4 right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn that in some more. Push the wheel forward again. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I got 4 here. Can I eyeball a little more? It's almost 4.5, but not quite. So I'm gonna go tighten it a little bit more. Move the wheel forward again. It's quite easy on this bike. It's very light. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5. Okay, that's where we want it. So we're gonna go lock this in so it doesn't move anymore. Don't make it too tight, because remember, this frame is made out of aluminum, so if you make it too tight, you're gonna strip it and you're gonna have a bad day. Okay. What really locks it in place is the axle. Okay, so just make sure it's pushed forward on both sides. I'm gonna go ahead and take the tripod and then count here again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's actually a little bit. It's a little bit. What's the word? It's actually a little bit less than 4.5. Very closely. 1, 2, It's pretty close. I would turn the adjuster in a little bit, since the other side was a little bit off. So I don't know what happened. Maybe they didn't adjust it right or something, you know. Okay, make sure you push the wheel forward. What's it at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. It's actually almost 5. So I'm gonna turn this in a little. We made it a little too much. It's not exactly 4.5. It's a little bit less. Okay. So what I'm doing so you can get it to move a little better. Pull it back, pull it away, and then pull it forward, like I just showed you. And then count again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I made it too much. So I need to go back. I know we had it really close, and then I botched it. Or what you can do is you can do this. You can adjust it. Here's another thing you can do. You can count how many. So I want it to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like where that raised part is between 4 and 5. So I'm gonna move this forward until it gets there. Okay, and then we're gonna loosen the adjuster nut until it touches the adjuster block. Got it? So, okay, so now I'm gonna pull it away, push it back in. Okay, so there, that's about right. That's this is like a tad less. Maybe we'll loosen it just a little bit. Okay. Okay, that's pretty close. Maybe just a little more. Okay, that looks pretty close. That's pretty close to what the other side is. So you just the important part is just make sure they're even. Before you even like check the chain adjustment, just make sure it's even, because then your wheel will be crooked, you know, and your tension might not be right. Okay, so push that forward, check it again. It looks good. I'm gonna go back to this side. Check this one. Okay, so yeah, they both look good now. They both look good. So it was a little bit less than 4.5. That's what it was. And then we're gonna go ahead and just tighten this kind of tight. I need to get the Allen wrench on this. Okay, so you can get the Allen wrench, stick it on the other side to hold it. Tighten that. Not very tight. It's like hand tight. Okay, so just so that it won't move. We'll double check again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just shy of 4.5. Okay, that looks good still. So now it's locked in and won't move at all. Okay, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and just shy of 4.5. Looks good. Okay, so the wheel is aligned straight now, supposedly, if those marks are right. Okay, so now what we're going to want to do is check our tension again, because it may have changed. Now, we didn't adjust the right side. The right side is really what makes sure the chain is the right tension, you know, but we'll just go ahead and check it one more time. So if you remember correctly, it's right around the halfway point, right around here. So this little pointer metal part sticking out here, that's 15 millimeters right there. You want it to be less than that, and it's a little more. Yeah. Okay, so we need to tighten it. So I want to show you how to tighten it. So we're going to go loosen the adjuster again. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to get the tension set on one side first, and then check the chain slack again, and then align it, and then double check again. So that's the process I do it on a motorcycle. All right, so we're gonna go tighten this. So to tighten this, we need to unlock the adjuster. Okay, it's already kind of off. So I'm gonna go ahead and loosen it all the way, and then to make it tighter, you need to loosen this so the bolt comes out. So what we're gonna do is loosen this until maybe it gets to the four mark. Okay, so it's pretty much where the 4 indentation is. So I'm going to go ahead and check the chain tension again. And the good thing to do is to check it in different places on the chain also, because it could be tighter in certain places and not so tight in others. So that looks almost pretty good right there. That's on the loose end. Yeah, that's actually pretty good right there. Yeah, it's actually, and maybe it's a little bit tighter, and you want it more than 10 millimeters, not a lot of slack. 5 millimeters of slack. So it should be more than this, and it is, definitely is. Yep. So that it's between 10 and 15 right now. I say that's pretty good. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure that the wheel is aligned. So if you remember, we were at 4.5 on both sides, and then we kind of moved to like a 4 now. We're 4 tick marks from the left. So what we're gonna do is go to the other side and make sure the other one is on the 4 tick mark, and then we're gonna check the tension one more time. Okay, here we are on the other side. I already know we're gonna loosen this, and I left this loose, so it should be fine. That way you can adjust it. We're gonna go loosen the adjuster. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna loosen this. We're gonna loosen this until we get to the 4. So there we go. We're gonna loosen this until it gets to the 4 indentation mark. And make sure you're pushing the wheel forward so it takes up that space. I'm gonna go count again. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's still not quite there yet, so we're gonna. It's still a little bit on the raised part. Oh wow, there's no more adjustment. This bolt is like really loose now. It's like it's kind of crooked too when it goes out. It's not cool. I hate this style of adjuster, by the way. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so we're right. We're pretty much right there. Maybe we could loosen it a smidge. It might be a little bit off. Just a tiny bit more. Okay. So I'm gonna go pull the wheel back and then forward again to make sure all the slack is taken up. Count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the mark is pretty much where the 4 mark is. So that's pretty close. It doesn't have to be. It's not rocket science. It doesn't have to be super precise, but that's pretty close. Then I'm gonna go tighten this adjuster nut here. So we think we have it. We think we have it. Tighten that so that doesn't move anymore. We're gonna go to the other side. Okay, so I didn't tighten this one yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this. Hopefully it didn't move while we're playing around with the other one. Snug it up a little bit. All right, so it's make sure it's at 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's pretty close. And then yeah. So now we're gonna go make sure the wheel is forward again. I'm gonna push on the wheel. Looks fine. and then I'm gonna go get my wrench, my ratchet, and the Allen wrench, and we're gonna go snug it up real quick. Okay, just by hand a little bit, not too tight. I don't know what the torque spec is on this. I wish to give you the torque spec. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go check the chain tension one more time, and if it's good, we're gonna give this a good little crank, and then we'll be done. So. Okay, so I got it perfect. So I got it. I went with looser is what I did. So really, what you got to do is loosen everything, and then tighten it or loosen it however you want it. Tighten everything up again and check it, because it changes when you tighten the axle. It gets tighter when you change the axle. So, and then just to do a little bit at a time. So I would get the left and the right lined up if they're not lined up already, and then like, just if you need to tighten the chain, loosen the bolt like one turn or something, like as much as you can turn, like by you know, getting the wrench in there, and then just do that on the other, same thing with the other side, and then lock everything up, tighten everything up, check the chain again, and then that's how I did it. You know, I did it a little bit at a time. This is the first time that I've had to do that on a motorcycle. So this one it's like very sensitive, and it changes like when you tighten that for some reason. But I'm going to show you what I got. It's 15 millimeters, so I think I got 15 right on the money. That's pretty close, maybe a little bit less than 15. And then I'm going to go to 10 right here, and this should be more than 10. There you go, more than that. So it's perfect. It's like in between 10 and 15. That's what you want. If anything, I would put it on the looser spec. So yeah, and then I went and tightened it. I found out that you can actually stick your finger in the hole and then loosen the bolt, like, and you don't really need the Allen wrench. So it actually does that. So yeah, so that should be it. And then now we just probably lube the chain, I guess. If you need to lube it, would be a good time to do it. Yeah, those are my observations with tightening this chain. Do it a little bit at a time. Just make sure they're lined up, and then adjust it a little bit at a time. Tighten everything up, then check it again. It's not that hard on this bike because it's not very heavy, you know. So yeah, these little marks are not, like, don't go by the marks too much. Just make sure the left and the right are adjusted. If you think you need to go tighter or looser, adjust it, tighten everything, check it again, and then you'll get it. And then check it in different places, but I think it's fine. Yeah, you want a little bit of slack. All right, I hope you learned something. That was my experiences. That's my little blog on how to adjust the chain slack on your Sur Ron Light Bee. This is the first time I did it, and yeah, so it's a little tricky compared to other motorcycles. You have to do it like a little bit at a time, but yeah. So there it is. So just make sure there's no gap. There's no gap between the adjuster and the bolt here, and make sure these little locking nuts are tight on both sides. That's it. So I hope you guys learned something. Hayes McOut.